I'm Melisa Idris. Welcome to Consider This. This is the show where we want you to consider and then reconsider what you know of the news of the day. MITRA, the Malaysian Indian Transformation Unit, was designed to address the socio-economic challenges of Malaysia's Indian community to bridge the gaps in education, employment and social mobility. But has MITRA been an effective agent of change in tackling the layered and varied issues within the Malaysia's Indian community? Well, let's ask the chairperson of the MITRA Special Task Force Committee, YB Prabakaran. He's also the PKR Member of Parliament for Batu, which is a seat he has held since 2018. YB Prabha, thank you so much for joining me on the show today. Welcome.
Thank you, Mel.
So, talk to me a little bit about the MITRA Special Task Force Committee. How does it sit in the main framework of MITRA? What is your role essentially?
I think we all know that MITRA exists for the past many years, and the framework of my special committee, which I chair the committee, it works as a advisory board, where of course the history taught us many lessons, especially with the previous administration, where funds were given out for non-effective programs. So in the first time in Malaysian history, last year was the first year, we have finished 100% of the fund to support the Indian community who are poor. And it was the Prime Minister's idea to create a special task force, chaired, and the members are the representative MPs, ADUNs and senators, and also some professional peoples, to help MITRA, guide MITRA to make sure that it delivers effective programs to reach out to people and support the poor people especially.
Okay.
So that's where we all, the previous year was Datuk Ramanan, and he held the chairman position for almost a year. Then he became the deputy minister, and now I was appointed 7th February.
In February, so it's been only a few months. You're, I'm sure, trying to kind of find your feet and get adjusted into the role. But MITRA, as you mentioned, has faced criticism over its administration, over the past few years. How is it going to be different under your leadership? What will you be doing differently?
You see, previously it was under different ministries, which were some of the ministries who don't play a huge role in the transformation of Indian community.
National Unity Ministry.
So now it's under the Prime Minister's office. How can we mess things up? And of course, me being the chairman and one of the youngest MP, this is a huge responsibility. So I use the existing plan of MITRA to make sure it delivers the best. And without any corruption, of course, we are engaging more public stakeholders so that we know what is happening on the ground. Previously, I'm not sure whether they have done that. And of course, the previous record is very clear that they've never finished the money, and they have delivered programs which are less effective for the urban poor. And of course, there are a lot of cases involved with MITRA scandals. So therefore, this year, previous year and with this year, we have representative in my board, my task force, from various parties to check and balance the regulations, the new policies, the programs, the initiatives, and make sure it's targeted down. So we also, I told my MITRA pengaras, directors, and told we need to go down. We can't be sitting up there watching from up there what is happening down. We need to go down, we need to go to schools, we need to go to estates, we need to go to villages, we need to go to PPR. Then we know what are they going through. And of course, with the new director in charge, he's a great person. He's going down to the ground. We also anak angkat estate in Negeri Sembilan to go and help the people in the estate. And more good initiatives we are doing this year. And of course, the previous record shows that when you deliver the funds to NGOs and certain companies, that's where some of the funds are being misused. So last year, it was only 30% of the fund which were given as a grant. And this year, I wanted a small buffer. I said, put a hole in this. There is a lot of fantastic programs delivered by agencies itself.
Okay.
So we are working closely with government agencies such as Kementerian Keluarga dan Wanita, Kementerian Digital, Kementerian Usahawan. So all these ministries have various agencies which provide excellent and upholding programs.
Right.
So we are working together with them.
Okay.
Example, MISI, Malaysian Indian Skill Initiative, where earlier I and the minister spoke. We discussed about intervention programs and a lot of few things. And then he said, let's, HRD Corp will put some fund and MITRA, let's put some fund. So we become an entity to help, especially for skills initiative.
Right, because there are, as you mentioned, other agencies doing the same types of skills, focusing on maybe the underprivileged, certain levels of the community, which also involve the Indian community. I want to come to the initiatives in a little bit, and I'm quite curious to know what's being done and what the plan is for the future. But you mentioned that now it's under the Prime Minister's office, so the Prime Minister's department. It was recently moved back to the Prime Minister's department from the National Unity Ministry. So
April,
in April. So MITRA has been moved back and forth from the ministry, the Unity Ministry, to the Prime Minister's department 4 times since its inception. And I'm just wondering, why is that? And why has it been shuffled so much? And what has been the cost of that shuffling?
You have to ask the previous administration why it was moved. But basically, this last year, December, when it was moved, I believe that the National Kementerian Perpaduan has a better role in directing the Indian community. But we MPs and representative, our view on this, if it's under a JPM, that's where the transformation really happened. Because you want to change a particular community, you have to interrelate with other agencies. And if it's under Unity Ministry, they have less power to discuss and mobilize with other agencies.
Okay.
So if it's under JPM, it's the power we hold will be much more better. Now it's under Prime Minister's office. Whether we go to any ministries, they will respect us with high authority to sit down and discuss about the issues. That's why we penetrated into many agencies. The recent one was Mardi. We've discussed with Mardi to let's give an seed initiative for the local petani. And we're also negotiating to get lands for the Indian community to become a petani.
So you see it as being under the PMO allows for a more holistic approach across ministries. So talk to me about that and where you would apply you mentioned a bit earlier now in your answer that there were lessons that were learned from the previous administration. What lessons will you take from that and apply to this new position within the PMO?
Of course, the first lesson is don't waste money. And of course, the second lesson is you must 100% utilize MITRA's fund for the targeted people, especially the B40s, who are, we want to go national level approach, which were never done before this. And my council or my task force, I'm expanding it. I'm going to state. Before this, MITRA doesn't have state committees.
Oh, it's only federal level?
Yes, it's only federal. And I use my capacity as a politician to call up my leaders, MPs and ADUNs to form special committees in each state for me to direct MITRA's initiatives towards the state. I can't be traveling all around the state. I'm alone, I'm just young.
So this more decentralized approach you feel would allow better access to people on the ground?
Exactly. Because if you go down and you ask the people, do you know MITRA? They'll say no. Majority will say no because they are not aware of the initiatives. And all. This is what the mistake is done by the previous administration, especially during COVID. Until now, we have the record and all. But they are the poor administration and the deliverance of fund. It became a big question mark. Always, whoever chair the MITRA.
Okay, well, so the previous allocation, I'm just going to use last year's budget allocation, it's 100 million ringgit.
Every year is 100.
100.
And
And then this year you're asking for
I've
3
requested.
times that.
Yeah.
Why?
I think using 100 million for the community to uplift the lifestyle of the community, economy, welfare and all, I think 100 million is not enough. Because every year we have commitment programs such as the Tadika preschool, dialysis, helping the students to get their fees subsidized. So only with the commitment each year, we are out of 40 million.
Okay.
So the balance 60 million, what can you do with that? I've worked with InScan, Kementerian Usahawan. We have given them, we are going to give them 10 million, which is giving fund for almost 700 entrepreneurs. We are creating more entrepreneurs. I think this has never been done, and especially for the Indian community. We are producing 700 entrepreneurs by giving them 20,000 grant, seed fund, for them to create a new business or opportunity. But of course, the commitment is we are giving 6 months bimbingan one-to-one. So we are going through the counseling process. We make sure they succeed in their business. So only with 10 million, we can provide 600 to 700.
You've mentioned several initiatives. You've talked everything from entrepreneurs to petani to anak angkat. What do you see as the most high impact program or intervention that will help the Indian community in Malaysia? And with that question, I would also say, do you have a good diagnosis of what are the challenges that the community faces?
Yes, we have a very good diagnosis, which is MITRA itself. MITRA's policy works that when we reach to the ground, we know what is happening with the support of the leaders, because they are well experienced enough to advise MITRA what is the right thing to do. And of course, the best program is the transformation program and sustainability program, which was previously not done, and now we are 100% focused on that. Before this, we always give a professional certification, job placement, but some of them who took the money, they don't 100% find the job opportunity. So this year, when I came in, I said, we can give funds, but we want 100% job opportunity. We give you more time to find the job.
Okay.
So that is one of the strict regulation which I have told MITRA, and they've delivered it. They've done a good job. And not only that, of course, I can't change the existing or the old senior generation, which is more on poor people, which they need fund to move in their life, especially like dialysis, welfare and all. But I'm trying to transform the upcoming generation and the current generation, which will hopefully bring a change in their life, such as this pembangunan usahawan, and then job placement opportunity, skills training, and awareness program, intervention programs in schools, and we are going to engage a lot of, like Mardi, we do handling with Mardi. When I currently I've traveled, I think almost all the states except Borneo. I hear a lot of issues, especially one Indian champ. He came to me, young guy. He said he have a land. He wants to, do agriculture. He needs some fund. And I told him, you see, MITRA can help, but it cannot help individual. It can only help in a huge program which supported by any entity. If it's individual, we don't have that scope. Tomorrow, a cancer patient come and ask me, YB, we need fund because I'm going through cancer, we need medicine. MITRA can't help individual. So that's why we found these agencies and we crafted the program so that we can help them, guide them and transform them. So it's a huge responsibility, but we are trying our level.
Okay, so I love that you pointed to the new challenges that a younger generation may face. You are the youngest elected MP in Parliament. So talk to me about what you have learned as the challenges that young Indians face today. They may be very different from when MITRA was first founded. So how is MITRA adapting to today's challenges?
I think one of it is opportunity. Well, they deserve a lot of opportunity. And the policies which government make is very fair to everyone. But sometimes the young Indians, they don't find this opportunity. They think they can't achieve anything with the government initiatives. So I'm trying to prove them that please come to MITRA. We have a lot of initiatives. We can tell you what other agencies are doing. We can guide you. And that is our job.
Is there a disconnect between young people and trust in the government?
Yes, there is a lot of disconnect because of, I'm talking about MITRA, a particular agency, not the government.
Okay.
Because of the previous history MITRA brought up, the young people and also some of the seniors are really disappointed. So I'm trying to get the support back, get their faith back into MITRA. That's why I'm telling MITRA to go down and meet the people. If you look at the Prime Minister, he's going to the pasar, he's going to Pasaraya, he's going to the local hawker stalls and all these things. He's watching them and he's learning that how to improve their system. I want to do the same thing. I want to go to universities, talk to the students, what are the opportunities there? And of course, the education and welfare, entrepreneurs, all these things.
Can I just follow up on one thing? So you said maybe there's a disconnect with MITRA specifically because there's a lack of trust with what MITRA's track record. But there have also been criticisms that this government, the Madani government, has neglected its Indian community, which has maybe even voted them into government. How would you respond to those criticisms?
In what way we neglected? I don't understand.
Have you heard of those criticisms?
Of course, I heard, but that's sort of the propaganda by the opposition. But I've never seen the government neglected otherwise, because we have created a lot of new initiative for the Indians, especially from Kementerian Usahawan. The Deputy Minister Dato' Ramanan is so creative. He created a lot of opportunities for the entrepreneurs. The Kun Fund is doubled, Amanah Ikhtiar is doubled, and iBrief, which is a bank for Bumiputra, they've given 50 million loan for the Indian community to boost their entrepreneurs, their business. So all these platforms, I think we are improving. And also look at MITRA. The first time in history, we have finished 100 million, which directed the fund 100% to the public.
Can you explain to me, so you pointed to that a couple of times, why is that impressive that you have finished 100 million in expenditure? How would you measure the success of that expenditure? Has it resulted in high impact?
Of course, when we have this fund, we produce impactful program for the public. But like I said, 100 million is not enough. Only if we can finish the 100 million, then we can get more. Me being a chairman, of course, corporate thinking, we need more money to venture into more other areas to cover. So, like I said, and of course, it is an humiliation for me if I don't finish the government grant, 100 million, for my community. That means if I can't finish, that means my community is very, very successful.
How would you be measuring your success and the success of MITRA in providing high impact and transformation to the Indian community?
We follow exactly what the Madani policy is, especially the Prime Minister's words, where he wants to eradicate miskin tegak. Last year, we were focusing 100% on that. This year also, we have all the data. We have the students' data who are in the public universities, in the private sectors. We also have the urban poor.
So no more hardcore poor amongst the Indian community.
Yeah, we are fighting with.
So that would be a goal.
Yes, of course.
Okay. So these are the goals that you have for MITRA. Where do you foresee the challenges in being able to see these goals through?
Okay, I think the major challenges is how we're going to direct the initiatives to the targeted people, which are the poor, the urban poor. And the second, of course, MITRA itself, it's a challenge because we have a manpower issue. With the 100 million, we only have 25 of us to go down and support the whole nation. I think it's quite difficult. So we need more volunteers, we need more manpower. And I have proposed this to the Prime Minister's office, and hopefully they will bring me a good news. And of course,
any plans to work with NGOs? NGOs who are already doing good work on the ground?
Yes. We have also selected few strategic partners like how the Kementerian Belia and other ministries are doing. And we are still identifying, we need to do a lot. 2 years being in the new government, last year and this year, is not enough to solve everything and have a clear picture what MITRA is going to do. But we are moving on the direction. It's very clear.
You mentioned a bit earlier, there is a risk when you work with outside parties like NGOs of mismanagement or abuse of finances. So let's talk a little bit about that. How do we ensure that there is financial accountability and transparency in MITRA under your leadership while working with the outside community as well?
That's why we have few level of approval. Last time, I'm not sure how many levels. Now I think it's more than
There's more
3
oversight?
3 levels.
Okay.
Yes, oversight, which ours is the advisory board, and we also go through it thoroughly. And the mistake always happen during the programs start. After the program start, that's where the hiccups happen. Due to the manpower issue, sometimes MITRA fail to pantau the projects. Yes, there's only 2 or I think 1 or 2 MITRA staff who are overlooking, seeing the previous programs, coordinating the previous program. So that's where the hiccups start. So this year we have created a proper team to look after the projects, and of course we are going to limit the fund like how previously, so that we have our own proper ceiling. They can't just apply how much they want. Like the previous year, MITRA was given a chance for 30 million grant, but the proposals were more than 100 million from NGOs and entities, stakeholders. And of course, identifying a stakeholders is not easy. We can approach all of them, but knowing who are genuine and not genuine is a bit tough. So we are going to do it based on their previous records, how they did the program, how they run the program, and how their accounts in and out is going to be.
Okay.
And
So more due diligence on who you're going to be working with.
Yes.
Okay. Talk to me about the importance of continuity in MITRA, because to see genuine transformation, it's a long game. It's a long-term plan, as opposed to there can be quick wins, there can be low-hanging fruit, but you want to see long-term gain. How do you plan for MITRA to continue its focus and work, given all the changes that we've seen with the shifting back and forth, with the changes in government previously?
I think that's a very easy question to answer, which many people fail to understand. MITRA just need to be in the government's policy, that's all. It should not be detached from the government. Previously, they were just doing what they feel like doing. And I have created a lot of records this year where we have connected with agencies which they have never encountered MITRA before. Like I met Mardi, like I met Kementerian Digital, I met Cyber Security Malaysia. They have never engaged with MITRA before. Yeah. And some of the agencies also not aware about MITRA.
So some of the...
So when I create this opportunity, I create this platform together with MITRA. So MITRA will be right on its track. Whoever the ministries are, whatever they are doing, MITRA will also be there to support and will remind the ministers and the ministries.
So for the Indian community to be a consideration in policy making, is that the goal?
Exactly.
Okay.
Like GDL, Project GDL with JPJ. JPJ already have the existing program to give free license, car license especially. And we have met JPJ. I said, I will put in 1.5 million. We will put in 1.5 million. Just give us more quotas, more extra, especially for the lorry license, which Indian plays a huge role in this country in logistics. So we identified that there is a huge platform. So we invited JPJ. They are very happy with us. Same goes to Kementerian Usahawan, Kementerian Wanita dan Pembangunan Keluarga, which we are working with Yayasan Kebajikan Negara, which is a government entity, foundation. Never engaged MITRA before. I told them, you see, Indians, we have a lot of poverty issues when it comes to welfare, health and all. So let's discuss. And I told them, we will allocate some fund. We will craft the program for you. Can you deliver it?
Okay.
The minister said, okay, done.
Okay, so in the minute or so that we have left, if budget 2025, your proposal is met in budget 2025 and you do get the 300 million, what will you be spending it on?
First, I need to prove to the government why I need that money. And I met the Prime Minister recently. I explained to him, and I'm also waiting to present why I need that 300 million. Hopefully everything goes well. Because if you want to change a particular community, you cannot only expect MITRA to play a huge role. It had to be the whole governance, the leaders, the ministries have to remember that the Indian community are also an important role. So I'm trying my level best with more funds coming into MITRA, and we are planning to also do the intervention program with government agencies more, so that there is platforms for the Indians. And there's one sad part about MITRA is they can't keep the 100 million. The 100 million, we don't keep it. MOF keeps the money. We just apply and MOF delivers it. So I have proposed to create an account, Amana, for MITRA, where it's not a simple process like other agencies. They have account Amana, but MITRA is a unit. They did not have an account Amana when I became the chairman. So after discussing with the Director General, we have made a proposal to give the Prime Minister's office that we need a account Amana so that we can keep the money, and we also can do developments. We can invest. So there's a lot of areas to cover, and I just 5 months, I think. I think it's almost 6 months. I hope I stay another 2 years to really bring a lot of changes.
Well, YB, thank you so much for being on the show and sharing your vision with us. Appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
That's all we have for you on this episode of Consider This. I'm Melisa Idris, signing off for the evening. Thanks so much for watching, and good night.